This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Rin.
Rin, why don't you tell everybody about your channel before we get started?
My channel is a whole bunch of things dealing with art, Fire Emblem, and me. That's about it. I do whatever I feel like I do on my channel.
And she is very dedicated to hop on, when the Japanese are releasing the Fire Emblem, heroes banners, and she's like, I'm gonna get on it like 1 a.m. and do this,
And my objective, honestly, is to beat Mangs before his upload. The only problem with that is that I hand draw every single thumbnail I make almost, and that takes like a good hour or two. So that's like,
Either way, I remember you were like, I stayed up all night to record this video. I was like, holy cow, it's like 6 a.m. Like, whoa.
Yeah, for my most recent video, actually, it was like 4 a.m, and I saw that there was a banner released, and I was like, fuck. And I got up and I was like, fuck. And put on like clothes, and I was like, hi.
Anyway, today is Tuber Tuesday, and we're going to be covering a channel that is probably near and dear to Rin over here. I did not mean to sound like Dr. Seuss there. Mecha. And if you don't know who we are, I don't know why you're watching this channel, but here's us. Here's Mecha's channel. So usually what we do before we go into this is I read off some stats, the boring part, and then we all just discuss what we think about his channel. So I'll just get right into it. Right now he has 44,200 subscribers-ish, since YouTube has completely cut me off at the feet on knowing the exact number by putting this K or M in front of people's channels. But 44.2 K channels. That'd be a lot of channels. 44.2K subscribers. His channel was created on December 30th, 2006. So I believe he's the oldest Fire Emblem channel on YouTube, but I could be wrong about that. And then his view count. He has currently got 16,669,500 views. And after today, I'll probably have like 3 more views because we'll watch at least 3 of his channels, or 3 of his channels, 3 of his videos while we're on this podcast. I can't talk today. If you want to find him, go to youtube.com/MEKKKAH, and hopefully YouTube doesn't like censor this video for saying 3 Ks in succession like that. But we'll see how it goes. So his channel description/about tab says, "Hey, my name is Mecha, and my channel focuses on the wonderful Fire Emblem series. On here you'll find waifu, aka we analyze interesting Fire Emblem units." I had never read that out loud before. That's pretty good. Good job, Mecha. Where I take a close look at units that I feel are being overrated or underrated by the community. Fire Emblem pitfalls, where I look at misconceptions among Fire Emblem fans. Let's plays of various Fire Emblem games, usually with some kind of interesting twist on it. Tier list videos where I rank Fire Emblem units based on how good or bad they perform, and I think he jumped on this trend well before the tier listing thing started. And a bunch of other random videos about things I just want to discuss. Alright, after that, we always talk about what the channel's known for. So this is my summary. Rin, you can jump in and completely slaughter what I've said if this is wrong, but this is my thought process. Most of his Fire Emblem stuff is Let's Plays, guides, and challenge runs, followed by general Fire Emblem discussion, memes, and news coverage. Collabs with other big Fire Emblem YouTubers, including Mangs, and I think there's a couple other ones that he does stuff with, but I'd hate to butcher people's names, so I'm not going to even try. Deep dives into Fire Emblem lore, characters, and stats. Is there anything I'm missing here?
No, there's not much you're missing. I would say he probably is like, his main thing is doing like analysis of games and how to beat them in the most optimal way.
So the challenge runs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to catch, because like they like from outside looking in, they look like Let's Plays. Like that's how I would describe them. But the challenge run is more his thing, like the beating 3 houses with Byleth. It's like, oh man. I think
if you looked at his more like viewed content, it's typically just an analysis on particular characters or an analysis on a game.
Yeah. So we're going into his first or oldest video, and then we do the most viewed video. So we'll get right to that, actually. Jump right into it. So, oldest video that still exists on YouTube. I have to always preface that because some people will, delete videos over time. Like, oh, that was embarrassing. I shouldn't have put that on YouTube. But I don't think he did, because this is...
Not us, though.
This
we
is
keep
like...
those embarrassing videos up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So this is called Isadora Owns Linus. and it's cracked me up ever since I first found out this video exists. He put it up on September 3rd, 2007, and it's got almost 40,000 views, 38,086 views, probably 38,087 views now, but who's counting?
In Mecha day by day, he has like a wall covered in like line marks. For this specific, not any other video, just this one.
Will's are the opposite way. He's like, every time it goes up a notch, he's like, oh boy, we don't want this first video ever getting more traction than it already has. Every time I put it on and show a guest, Will's always like, kill me now. Anyways, so for our first video, this is interesting because it's essentially a screen capture of a GBA or emulation of a GBA game back in 2007, which is definitely not as common back in 2007. I'm not sure how versed you were at YouTube in 2007, but I don't remember seeing very many GBA, like, I mean, anything video game related in 2007 really on the internet besides like Angry Video Game Nerd. So the fact that his channels existed this long and he had a video out in 2007 with essentially a screen cap of some sort of a Fire Emblem game is impressive. I'm very shocked that at the date here, 2007, that's awesome. Do you guys have any comments on this video?
I mean, I don't know. It's Mecha quality. The FPS is horrible. It's just like a typical, like, probably something interesting that happened to him, so he just wanted to have fun with it. And he uploaded it for shits and giggles, I guess. Yeah,
probably, but I'm still impressed by the fact that he has a screen cap of a GBA game in 2007. That's definitely not the norm in 2007.
I mean, I was 7, so I don't know. I wasn't really browsing the internet at the time.
Nowadays, kids at like 3 years old are browsing the internet.
All right. If it wasn't so accessible.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so let's go on to his most popular video.
Why Amelia is good in general. Is bad in general. No, I'm kidding. That's not it.
It's, oh, dang. I always make the joke, Heather good, but that's a Mangs joke.
Yeah, get your jokes straight.
I drew him a picture the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but I just wrote Heather good on a Heather picture, and he laughed at it. So.
Oh, I didn't see it. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't draw the Heather. I just wrote Heather good on a Heather picture.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think it was when I first looked this up like a week and a half ago, but it was this. Okay, so still this. Cool. It's promotion guide for Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones.
Mm-hmm. When did this come out?
February 11th, 2018. So it's a more recent video than some other channels have had. Their most popular. Mm-hmm. Like some channels is like your most popular video is 2013. It's like, oh man. But this one, 2018. That's good. That's not that far off, and it's an evergreen video because it's Sacred Stones and people are still playing that game. So it'll always grow. And promotion guides are great. Like that's something that if I would have had a video like this when I played Sacred Stones in like 2000 and whatever year it was, that would have been amazing. Because I had no idea what I was doing with promotions in, 04? 05?
You should... I wish I could show my first... I'm really sad I deleted it, but my first Fire Emblem game was Awakening, and I really wish I could have shown my first save file, because I didn't even promote Robin, who capped at level 20 really early on. I didn't promote him until like the end of the game, and I never promoted Crom. Oh,
okay.
Awakening.
Whoops.
I only beat the game because Crom got a crit. I was just lucky.
Oh, at the very end, you got a crit with Crom?
Yeah, on Rima.
That's impressive. Wow. My Let's Play that I did the other day, I accidentally put Florina on an axe-wielding enemy because I was trying to check my range. I was trying to check my range on the level you get Florina, and I was going to see if I could rescue Lynn if she got hit, because there was like 0 chance she was going to get hit. But I always check just in case so I can do a rescue real quick. And I accidentally double-clicked A and hit fight. And I got a critical and killed the axe guy with Florina, and the chat was going wild. The chat was like, "That should never have happened. Like, what happened here?" I'm pretty positive it was an
Never
axe building enemy, but it really cracked me up. I was like, wow, that would happen on a live stream for me when it would never happen in real life. Anyways, so what we do after that is we say what we like about Mecha's channel. So I'm gonna let Rin go first because
Yeah, definitely. I'm very curious.
So my favorite content on Mecha's channel is definitely his scripted content. That's where he thrives the most. So any of his waifu videos where he's actually able to take time to come up with them. Oh, this is gonna sound mean, but he's actually able to take time to come up with his jokes. And, like stuff like that. So that's typically what gets him lots of views. And then a lot of times it's just things that are like, oh, okay, I just didn't know that about that character. So it's very informational. And like any scripted content of his is probably my favorite. I guess second favorite would be any content he does with like anybody else. So like any Let's Plays he does. So like right now he's doing a Shadows of Valentia Let's Play with Bismix. He also did a Reverse Growth Let's Play with Mangs. It was his first Let's Play with Mangs, I believe, and that was a very interesting Let's Play. So I mean, those are probably my more favorite Mecha videos.
So, Will, you want to jump in on that, or you want me to go next?
You go ahead. I know you guys you're jumping at the bit, Chris. So
No, you can go. I know you're.
No, it's fine.
Okay, all right. So I actually discovered Mangs through Mecha, which is like the opposite of a lot of people nowadays.
Oh, I did too.
But I'm trying to remember what video clued me into Mecha in the first place. I think, let me see if I can find it. I know it was like a Fire Emblem 6 and 7 video, so it was like forever ago.
Oh yeah, he does daily uploads too, so it's gonna be a while before you find it.
Well, the one that got me back into it though is when he started covering Echoes again, because that was when I was trying to decide if I was gonna buy Echoes. And so he was covering it, and then I found out Mangs was covering it, and then I discovered tons of other, like Chaz Aria and a bunch of other people, and I was like, okay, I'm buying Echoes, and then it turned out to be like my favorite Fire Emblem game, at least because of recent play bias. It's my favorite Fire Emblem game. Anytime I play a Fire Emblem game recently, but these guys have like him and Mangs, they all have this like uplifting and energetic spirit about Fire Emblem, and it just made me like reminisce and get nostalgic all over again every time I watch these videos. I'm like, okay, time to go play some Fire Emblem, and then I'm like, I died, I'm done, I can't do this again. And then they do another daily upload, and I'm like, okay, I'm right back into it, let's do this again, come on. And their humor is so great, especially Mecha's. His humor is so great, and the fact that they have these accents that are, whatever accent that is. Accents always draw me in. Okay, it always draws me in.
Yes.
The British accent.
Who was saying that it was a cheat code?
Arash about Installation 00 and his low-pitched, European British accent that really got him going. But that's a weird way to say that.
Yeah, it really got him revved up. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm uncomfortable with it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, Rin. This is just how this just breaks down completely. Well, you got to jump in now and save me. I'm totally derailing.
So I think everyone who watches this show knows it's not that I'm not a fan of Fire Emblem. I just haven't gotten into the series yet. So, I mean, a lot of this content is kind of lost on me. However, I do like like Chris said, I really enjoy his accent. I really enjoy his humor. And although I don't necessarily appreciate some of the challenge runs, I still find them entertaining to watch. Just because, I don't know, I like when people actually like go through and try to challenge themselves on a game, going through really strange, like I'll go through and play Fable with just a stick. or something like that. So that kind of content does appeal to me. Also, if you go back to his thumbnails, I really like his thumbnails. Even though they are kind of busy, I still like them. They're very visually appealing to me.
Hey, Will, stop right there. Who makes his thumbnails?
I think someone can explain this, yes.
Hi! That's me. I make most of them, I guess.
You made these
the
Let's Plays ones, or is that two? No, these are 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so these are you, right?
Yeah, I made his Echoes ones. Yeah, his more shitpost ones he'll make himself typically. But his like Let's Plays or his overlays, I make his overlays.
That's the nature of those types of videos, though, isn't it? Like the fact that they are just what they are.
Yeah. The shitpost thumbnail draws in a lot of views, I think.
Yeah, I would entirely believe that, and I love I forgot about these. Making fun of the guides are some of his
Oh.
best videos.
Yeah, those are actually some of my favorite ones.
I absolutely love that. And I like how in the tier list that he did, at least this one in particular, how he does the gameplay in the background. Because for somebody like Will, he can't sit here and stare at a screen while somebody just talks through it. He has to have some kind of animation on the screen.
Yes.
And this is what keeps Will coming back to a channel like this, is having just that even just that little bit in the foreground.
I need that
there.
visual stimulus.
I gotta give props to his editor. His editor actually came up with that idea and was like, hey, you should do this on your tier list videos because that's gonna make it more interesting. So, I mean, thanks Hoshi, which is his editor's name. Yeah.
There you go. So as far as these overlays go, I like his overlays a lot. I like the way they look. So.
Thank you.
And I think so that cross diagonal pattern that you got going on there, is that something that you use consistently across a lot of these different designs that you do?
Yeah, it just adds like an extra background element to distinguish from the characters I put in the thumbnails.
I had never thought to do that, but that's a good idea.
Thank you. I'm not going to take credit for it. It's a very common, I guess.
Not in the way, I think you do it in a more unique way than other people I've seen do that. So
Thank you.
props to you on that.
Thank you.
Next thing we're going to talk about, and Will might come back to some other things in a minute here, is what are some things we think Mecha should do to improve his channel? Rin, do you have something, or do you want one of us to jump in first?
No, I can say some stuff. So Mecha's very interesting. I think at times Mecha, in my opinion, can be very, I don't want to, whatever. I think he can be very dry. His voice is appealing and nice to listen to, but I do find it hard to concentrate, especially when he's just playing alone. And having been on half of a Let's Play with him, when you are Let's Playing with him, it is difficult to even get a word in, because he's so used to talking alone during his streams and stuff, that he's not used to being like, oh, what should I do here? Or what should I do there? He's just like, oh, I blah, 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 and this character, and blah, 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 and I'm going to move this character here. So I think that's something, in my opinion, Mecha could improve on. I also think that in terms of just his play style in Fire Emblem, I think he's very, with a lot of his play style, he's very slow. He doesn't take a lot of risk, and I think that appeals to a bigger audience when you do that. Because I'm not going to lie, there's a reason why when you watch anybody do anything, they have a death compilation in their video somewhere, and it's because it's the more interesting parts of the stream for a lot of people. But Mecha is so good at Fire Emblem, he just doesn't get that stuff, you know. So it's kind of like I would prefer him to take more risk when he's playing it. And then my biggest issue is I really prefer him to play other games that aren't just Fire Emblem. But I mean, he has a niche here, right? So it's hard for him to do that without a decent drop in views. My probably most favorite stream he's done recently was a Pokemon Crystal randomizer stream, and that adds an element because it's something that's constantly changing, and something that's because it wasn't it wasn't a typical randomizer. It was his party's changing constantly. And because there's a chat there the entire time, it really does yield a whole bunch of different memes to be created off of that. I think those are my biggest I think you should improve on this kind of things, because he definitely does have a certain play style, and he definitely does do some content better than others. I saw, yes, that's your comment.
I was just surprised that everybody liked that comment, but sorry, keep going.
No, I mean, I basically said what I had to say.
I really enjoy stuff like this too, though. His challenge runs.
Oh yeah.
And because he's so strategic about how he plays Fire Emblem, this was extremely appealing to me because he picked maddening mode on 3 houses and exclusively used Byleth essentially, other than his couple caveats he mentions in the beginning. But I watched this whole thing. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was amazing. So
oh yeah, it's one of his most viewed videos, I believe.
Yeah,
it got insane views.
Stuff like that is great. But I thought it was funny, a lot of the comments when I first, and I caught this video at 2,000 views, I think. That's probably how I got a top comment. But he said, somebody posted, I love how Mecha just casually reminds us he loves Pokemon, and I was just like, well, he should do a little more Pokemon then, because that'd be pretty fun, because he could take a lot of risks with Pokemon, or do like a what is it called, a
Nuzlocke?
Nuzlocke. Yeah, I think he's done one, hasn't he? No.
I don't think he's ever finished a Pokemon thing.
Okay. It might be because I know anytime you try to diversify content on YouTube, you drop views. Like, we did Halo for like 3 straight weeks, and then we switched over to Fire Emblem for that week. We covered Mangs, and we lost like 10 subscribers just doing that. Even though we gained a crazy amount of views covering Fire Emblem, we lost a lot of subs. I was like, this is crazy. Like, how... And we don't have a big channel like Mecha or Mangs, or even as big as yours. So I can't imagine what diversifying content on YouTube would be like at that level. It's almost better to start another channel and have a second one.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's why I'm not like I'm never gonna like force him to do anything otherwise. Like, I think that him being in the Fire Emblem community, there's always going to be more content for him to be able to pursue and create. So there's no really, the incentive is actually pretty low for him to actually like do these other kinds of things. It's just something I think he can improve on. This particular video, I believe, is scripted, and it's pretty well edited, isn't it?
It's a good video. It's a really good video. And there's a bunch of comments like Bolo, perfect name for Byleth Solo.
I think the fact that he actually has people editing a lot of his stuff now has really added to his overall quality of his content.
Has he noticed, or do you know, a noticeable uptick in amount of views after he's got more editing done?
Probably not. It's hard to draw people in from just editing alone, because you look at a thumbnail and you can't really like, like, I don't know, I can plaster in red, this is good edit, like, this is well editing techniques in this video. But I like, from just a thumbnail alone, unless it's like randomly inputted into somebody else's feed, I highly doubt it. But views within his subscriber base probably has upped a ton because it has been edited so well. But like, in terms of new people coming to his channel, probably not.
I'm not gonna lie, I think the single most important thing for any channel is the thumbnail, because people don't read. You know, I think people are illiterate on YouTube because they literally will not read titles. They'll just look right at a thumbnail and say yep or nope. It's kind of like the lemon test. I think that's the right word, the lemon test, where people are like, within 5 seconds I can tell whether or not I want to go out with this person. I think that's what the premise is of the lemon test. I know Barney Stinson talked about it on How I Met Your Mother, so forgive me if I'm completely off base on what that actually is, but that's how he described it, so that's how I'm going to describe it. But I think seeing the quality of the thumbnails improve on any channel will bring more viewers, especially already subscribed viewers. If you want to attract a bigger audience, honestly, for us, it's always been networking. The more people that we talk to, or the more people that we work with or collab, like you were saying, you like the collabs Mecha does. I've noticed an uptick every time we do that, and it's fun because you get a different perspective every time you do it.
I like it when a channel changes their thumbnails. However, when they change their icon, it completely throws me off because like, I won't recognize them anymore, and I won't know who's posting.
I'll keep that in mind. Never change my sad face on my channel.
Don't ever do it.
Ever.
Honestly, I'm probably the only one that throws off, but I immediately is like, who the heck is this?
Who's coming up on my subscription feed?
Changing your profile picture on YouTube breaks it, because YouTube takes like weeks for everybody to see the new icon. So like, you might change it today, but your subscriber base won't all see the change for like 2 weeks because of the internet cache, the cookies, people's accounts not updating, YouTube's layout hasn't changed. It's so bizarre how long it takes YouTube to update a profile picture when Facebook does it in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like a weird archaic system that they use to update profile pictures across Google accounts, especially if it's a brand account. It takes even longer. Like, if we ever change the CHRILLCAST logo, you might see the old logo for like weeks following that. So that will mess people up because people will see two different icons. And then what I do like about his channel layout is his banner greatly matches his profile picture with Executor.
Yeah, I mean, it's his favorite Pokemon. He doesn't cover enough Pokemon content. I mean, he has a Pokemon as his profile picture, but he
Yeah,
barely
I was
does
gonna say
anything
that
else.
threw me off at first because he has so much Fire Emblem content, but he has Pokemon like in his banner.
So I don't want to have this video go on for way too long. We can give Mecha this 25-minute video, but I do want to say, what are our predictions going forward for his channel?
I mean, like any channel, I only see it increasing. Theoretically, any channel on the internet, no matter how bad, if it's there long enough, will forever increase. That being said, his channel right now, if you look at Social Blade, is doing very well. I mean, he's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
like tons of views, and tons of views and tons of subscribers. And what he's doing right now with the whole like, oh, the Byleth solo, that generated a lot of that generated a lot of views and a lot of subscribers for him. So I think as long as he keeps doing stuff like that, he'll forever he'll gain more and more momentum. Unless he says something stupid.
But it could actually help him. You never know.
Yeah, no
Controversy
publicity
drives views.
There is no bad publicity, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Will? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that a lot of his content is evergreen content, and I think it'll be interesting even years from now. And I don't exactly know how much Fire Emblem's growing. I know the last game was obviously the best selling in the series, but as far as expecting more games to continuously come out, I don't know if that's the case, to come out really, really frequently. So, I mean, if that is the case, then yeah, obviously he's going to grow because he has more content to cover, and I think that more and more people are getting exposed to this series, so they're going to be looking for people who are covering it, and he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think any collabs he does with Mangs are always hilarious. He should do some more of those.
Yes.
But he's going to hit 45,000 subs probably within the month, I would think. He's been growing at a much faster rate than I've seen him grow in the past. Like, I think when I watched his 40,000 sub special, he was just at like 41 or 42,000. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And like within a day or two, he was up another 1,000. I was like, wow, that's amazing. This is pretty epic growth for a channel as old as his to see this, this far along. And now he's seeing these big jumps in subscriber base. It's amazing. I love it. I'm happy to see Mecha grow because his channel is really good. And one of the best Fire Emblem content providers. In the words of Eric from our Mangs video, Mecha is a perfect Fire Emblem YouTuber.
I am obligated to agree with that.
Obligated but not required, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just gonna leave this with a little spiel here. Hey, Mecha, if you want to come on, you can review Rin's channel with us. So.
I don't. Okay. I don't know if I agree to that, but okay.
Oh, okay. I don't think Mecha agreed to this either. But as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Rin.
And we will see you
on next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.